Do you like blood and guts? Do you like explosions? Do you like to kill for trophies? Well, come and join us as we delve into all that is Rage 2. What's up, everyone? This is Snoogs.
I am Greggio.
And today, we're giving you an insight into Rage 2 and just what we thought about it. Alright, Greg, let's get the technical stuff out of the way, the boring bits of the game.
Sure.
Let us know the gameplay, visuals, audio, how did it all play out?
Right. So, we've got Rage 2. It's published by Bethesda and developed by Avalanche Studios and id Software. So, we've got combat, which is solid. That's obviously id playing into it.
Yep.
We have the open world part of it, which is obviously Avalanche. They're the main studio behind it, and we know that they can do that really well. So, once again, this is all promising. The driving is super fun to begin with. It does sort of wane over time, so, you know, as much as it is cool, it just ends up being driving.
Mm-hmm.
When we're fighting, you've got the super abilities, the nanotrite abilities. As I said in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, it's really intuitive. They pick up pretty quickly. They recharge really quickly, which means you use them. You tend to use them more. You don't feel like you're wasting those opportunities by using them. Like, you don't tend to save them up. I know that I tend to save them up, and then I don't use them. But like I said, they charge up super quick. So there are some sticking points with the gameplay, and they're little things, but they're still annoyances.
They're still there, yeah.
Breaking crates, I found.
Oh, painful.
I know. The first couple of times you do it, like, you're just like, they usually stack them, and it's when there's like two, and they stack them, and you walk up and you go melee them, and it'll break the top one, and then you look down and go to melee it, and you're just missing it, and you find out you have to crouch down to have enough distance to break it, and I go, that gets quite annoying.
I was just glad there was lots of ammo around. Because
you could shoot them, yeah.
I gave up trying to.
I'm a stingy bastard with ammo, so I'm just like, no, I refuse. I'm gonna hit him. I was playing it on the PlayStation Pro. It runs really smoothly.
Mm-hmm. I believe it actually runs 1080-60 on the Pro.
Yeah.
Which, looking at it, that's pretty spot on. Yeah.
The scenery is really good on big scale. So outside, when you're driving around, it's a beautiful world. It's very varied. Mm-hmm. You've got sort of the desert, mesa kind of sort of areas. You've got swampy areas. There's obviously the towns, and each town feels different and unique. So those are good. Problem is when you get a bit closer, some of the textures, they feel a bit old hat. They almost feel like we went into the bin of id Software's some of previous games and like gone, you know, so like 20, what is it, 20, no, the last, not the newest Doom.
2016.
Was it 2016? No, it was
so.
the one before it, wasn't it? It was...
I don't know, but they do feel a little bit
they feel
familiar.
The AI is another sort of sticking point. So combat-wise, the AI is acceptable. That's how I put it. They're nothing special. The reason I say that that's a bad thing is because I remember playing Rage, the original Rage, and that was one of the things that made this game stand out. It was almost what they sold the game on.
Yep.
Was this new AI for the enemies, and I remember them blowing me away. I remember them being able to, like, the first shot I took at an enemy, and he dodged my bullet, and I was like, shit, how did I miss? You know, he jumped up on the wall, like, or the ceiling. They used to jump up on the ceilings and swing and wall run, and they did it perfectly, and you really had to be on your toes. Maybe it's the fact that that's pretty much where games have gone. Yep. But
it doesn't feel as unique anymore.
No, it doesn't feel as unique anymore. And for me, that's kind of a missing thing. For me, they should have maybe put some emphasis in making that AI just a little bit more special. Cinematically with the AI, I've said this before also in the podcast, they seem woody. Once again, it just seems like it's just that it wasn't cutting edge. It was just a little bit old tech.
Yeah.
And a bit clunky, and like and some of them are like, you know, they're just Like they do a roll, and it doesn't even look like a roll. It's just this weird wonky mess. And then you like look at the characters while they're talking. And the problem with the first-person open world is you can get right up personal and talk to these people. You can just look them right in the face. And when half their face is like sitting still while they're talking, it's like, oh, what? Come on, this isn't acceptable anymore, kind of thing.
Oh, hey! It's another ranger. Say, you people, you still help others out like you used to?
That brings me to my last point, I guess, on gameplay, which is the map size. The map size is decent. It's a good sized map.
Yeah, definitely an
There's
open world.
lots to do. It's very open. But once again, that also leads you to the whole driving thing, and that's where that whole driving thing starts to sort of wane on its appeal. Like, they really pushed it as in, yeah, driving, it's awesome. It is for the first 5 minutes, you know, and then it's just driving.
Then it's just a means to an end.
Yeah, that's right.
No worries. Well, mate, we'll go back and talk about the character models in the cinematics more so.
Yeah.
We've talked about this previously. The character intros.
Yeah.
So are they cool? At my point in time, they're still relatively cool.
Impressive.
But
Think you can catch a bullet,
I can understand where they get a little bit grating as well.
Right. So initially, I said they were grading when we first had this conversation. Since actually thought about it a bit more, and I said I liked the aesthetic of it. I liked the idea of it. But the first time you experience it, you're in the middle of an action scene, and it's like someone just hits the pause button, and it's so jarring.
Probably, huh?
In that instance, when there's stuff going on, it breaks the immersion of the game.
I can't explain.
However, there's other moments where I played, and you meet people, and it's a very casual meeting. You're walking into a room, and you're expecting to meet someone, and there's nothing else going on except for that meeting, and bam, it works.
Yeah.
And so
When it doesn't break the immersion,
when
works.
it doesn't break the immersion, it works. When everything is slow paced and it's okay to stop the game for a second, perfect. When you're in the middle of a firefight and they're like, new character, you're like, oh, okay, I'll wait for you. You know?
I'll just wait a minute.
So, and you can skip them, but then, what's the point? The point is to meet a character and understand who they are. I think they could have done this a little bit better.
No, fair enough. All right, mate. Well, talking about characters, the progression. So this is an open world RPG.
Yep.
As it's called. Besides the fact that it's a first-person shooter as well. So the RPG elements and the character progression. How'd you find that?
Look, it's a pretty simple, we're talking about Bethesda here. This is pretty much what they do.
Yep.
First person RPGs. Look, it's not a complicated system. It's pretty straightforward. The weapon upgrades are straightforward. The personal upgrades are straightforward. And they feel meaningful. The changes feel meaningful. Which is important in an RPG. Yep.
Beautiful. Fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Lots of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Rage has been touted to
Kill, I grant you.
just be absolute chaos.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright? So lots of guns.
Lots of guns.
Lots of gore.
Lots of gore.
Guns on cars.
Guns on guns.
And more guns.
Guns. If they could, they probably would have put guns on guns.
Yes, that'd be awesome. But the biggest part for me is just how good the gunplay is.
Yes.
So, big question: is it worthy of id?
I have no problem with saying yes, it totally is. Mainly because it is literally cut and copied from 2016 Doom, like new Doom.
Yeah.
It's the same mechanic. It's the shoot the bad guy, kill the bad guy. He drops important material that you need to survive and continue fighting. So you need to rush in. It's all about that fast pace. Keep pushing. Keep shooting. Keep murdering. Just drive a train of blood and gore as fast as you can through the enemy. It's a different color palette. Essentially that's what it is. So yeah, on that point, you can't fault the gunplay. If you like Doom, if you thought Doom was a great shooter,
Which it is.
damn, and to be fair, that's that's probably one of the line of similarity. There's a word for that, but I can't think of it. Between the first game and this game is, once again, it was this, when Rage came out, it was touted as using the Quake engine. It was Quake, an open world Quake kind of thing. That gunplay was Quake, you know. And so I feel like that, in that sense, there is an element of spiritual successor there.
There's a spiritual succession there.
It is one point. Unfortunately,
point?
it's while I say that, it's not a strong tangible link, but it's one that I can say it has.
Alrighty. Well, mate, probably one of the last things to have a look at is the story itself.
Yeah.
So, you're a ranger
Yes.
that is going about the business that he needs to.
Yeah.
Personally, I found the story itself I found to be quite good, except for a lot of the fetchy stuff that you had to do, which does get a bit tedious in a lot of things, but the gunplay kind of held it together because that's my big drawing point.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Yeah. Look, the amount I've played it, the fetch questy stuff hasn't hit me too hard yet. I can see how it's going to. Most open world games now, you can't get away from that. There's only X amount of quests you can possibly put in there, and they're going to feel grindy. So you kind of expect that walking into an open world game these days. But you're right, the gunplay, essentially the gunplay is good, so you want to keep shooting stuff, and it's a means to an end. The story itself, it's solid, but it's not groundbreaking. It's stuff that we've seen before. I even joked about the fact that, once again, Bethesda's just rehashing Fallout 3 in a sense. Don't expect anything amazing out of the story, but it is a solid story. Like, it's
enough to hook you.
It's enough for you to play and feel satisfied with the experience.
Now, story length. Everyone's so focused on story length these days. I've heard as low as 4.5 hours.
Yep.
And upwards to 12 to 15 hours for the main campaign only.
Yeah.
But this is a massive world. There's a shit ton of stuff to do.
Yeah.
So, do you see replayability? Or do you see an urge to push onto that 100%?
Yes and no. As a game by itself, it's solid. If I had nothing else that was distracting me, yes, I would play the hell out of this game. I would replay all the little bits, and I would probably, get as close as I could to being a completionist. I've kind of let go of being a completionist in the last little while. I play it until completioning is no longer an enjoyment thing. It's just it's a grindy thing, and once it reaches that point, I'm like,
that's when you're done.
I'm done.
That's when most of us get done.
I'm not here for the platinum. I'm not here for the 100% game score anymore. I'm all about the fun. If it's not fun anymore, I'm not playing. But like I said, there's heaps to do. Like, there's bandits bases to get into. There's massive killer mutant things to kill. There's authority things that drop down and pretty much suppress an area, and you've got to unsuppress it. There's lots of things happening. There's races, there's convoys, and they're happening all over the place at any given point in time, so there's always something to do.
Alright, mate, well that brings my list to an end. What's probably gives a bit of a wrap up of your overall thoughts, where you see it sitting within the game space of the Rage world and whatnot.
Yeah, right. So I kind of touched on this just a second ago with the feel. This doesn't particularly feel like Rage. I remember playing the first Rage. I love the first Rage, even with all its faults. But when I started playing this, short of wing sticks, that's aesthetically kind of, and some of the language used, like nanotrites and stuff like that. Outside of that, this is just a generic shooter. This is, I feel it doesn't have enough. For me personally, I don't feel it ties enough to. They feel like two separate worlds in a sense. And I get that there's a lot of time passed between the two and all that jazz, and the world has changed. But for me, that almost alienates the two, and I don't feel like a successor. Like I said, it's got wing sticks. The combat that illusion, that spiritual successor. I picked that up after a while, but that's not enough for me to sit there and go, oh yes, no, this is Rage 2. If you'd given me this game without the title and said, here, play this, tell me what you think, the wing sticks would have been the giveaway. But if you didn't have that, then this could have been any game. I wouldn't have said it was Rage 2. I just would have gone, oh yeah, this is Bethesda's crack at, trying to pick up a new post-apocalyptic genre outside of Fallout, trying to compete with sort of Borderlands / the DLC for Far Cry. That kind of... Obviously, there's a marketing campaign around that color and sort of scenery and game that people are crying for, so this is just their answer for that, which for me is disappointing. And look, I'm quite happy for people to say I'm wrong.
You don't say stuff like that on the internet.
Look, they're gonna say it anyway. I'm just defusing them by saying, yeah, go ahead, you say I'm wrong. I don't really care. But that's my opinion. So look, it's a solid game. I'm happy playing it. Anyone that likes first-person shooters, open-world shooters, if someone wants a game with Doom combat in an open-world environment, this is the game for you.
The big question.
Sure.
Right? The way a few things have gone recently in the gaming landscape, and a few issues that we've had, and games not living up to expectation and all that sort of jazz, is it fun?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Well, that's probably the one thing that a lot of us are just craving at the moment, is just that level of fun.
Yeah, look, if you want a fun game, this is
a fun game.
Yep.
I've enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah.
Like you've said exactly my thoughts. We're pretty much on the same page.
Yep.
It's a load of fun though. That's the bit that I like about it.
Yep.
Switch your brain off. Enjoy it.
Totally.
Awesome.
Yep. Totally.
Well, that's all from us. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, and all the other YouTubey bits that you need to do, whatever they are. I have been Snooks.
And I have been Greggio.
And we will see you for the next one. Cheers.